Where's your devotion? Where's your devotion?
Hi Aquarius, welcome to Maddie Tarot. I'm Maddie, and today we're going to be doing a general reading for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. So keep in mind that for November 16th through 30th, 2022. Keep in mind that this is a general reading. It may not resonate for everybody from front to back, so take what resonates and leave the rest. I could be talking about you, your person, another individual, or party, so you may need to swap roles throughout the reading. I am just deciphering a story as best I can from the messages. So you may need to swap roles, and do not overextend or stretch yourself to make it fit. If it's not your story, it's not your story. Be sure to check your other placements because your messages could be there. I greatly appreciate everybody that is supporting this channel. Thank you so much. And if you could like, comment, subscribe, leave feedback. I am open to suggestions and happy to hear from you guys. I try to respond to everybody, okay? So thank you so much. This is a passion of mine, and I am happy to have you guys along for the ride. So I've already pre-shuffled, meditated on the collective conscious of Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, and cleansed the space and cleansed the decks already. So what does Aquarius need to know? Let's see. What does Aquarius need to know? Messages for Aquarius. All right, we're going to start with a card for you, Aquarius. One more. The Knight of Coins. For the person on Aquarius's mind. The Two of Cups. Past energy. We've got the Devil. Present energy. The King of Swords. Intuition. Aquarius intuition. The Magician. And challenge. Challenge for Aquarius. The King of Coins. Advice. The Four of Wands. And the person on your mind, what are they thinking? How are they feeling? What's their next move? Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the Eight of Swords. Okay. And then your bias and caution. Caution or bias. The Three of Wands. And then your guidance. Guidance for Aquarius. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, you've got the Page of Wands. Alrighty. Let's pull a crystal card for Aquarius. Pre-night. Pre-night. All right, so this stone is connected to spiritual beings on another plane of existence. When you are deep in meditation, make sure the stone touches your third eye. It will help you visualize the spiritual plane and the beings in it. When placed under your pillow, it also promotes dreaming. Aquarius, I feel like you are calling upon a higher power at this time to help you through a rough time. You might be dealing with a lot of emotions or frustration, just essentially anything really that's upsetting you or causing an upheaval in internally. And you might be giving your um, giving your power or asking for help from a higher power, essentially, into to keep calm and keep collected at this time. So let's see. Let's get into this reading and see. So on your end, you've got the Knight of Coins, Knight of Pentacles. So this is something that you are definitely committed to, and I feel like you're in a situation at this time, whether or not it's a long-standing commitment or a relationship that is not really doesn't really have a title, or you're just seeing somebody kinda and you're romantically interested in them, but you haven't really told them what no matter what it is, no matter what type of relationship, it looks like you are dealing with something in it that you understand takes a lot of patience, and slow and steady wins the race. You understand you cannot rush this process, whatever it may be, whether it's a deeper commitment or getting through conflict or dealing with some sort of ongoing issue within the relationship. However, you are committed to this circumstance and process and person. So let's clarify the Knight of Coins here. Two of Inspiration. Yeah, it looks like there's been some discussion around this and talk of this. Maybe a plan forward, how you guys are going to handle this together, maybe making goals together, or some sort of discussion regarding deepening the commitment or possibly dealing with ongoing issues within the commitment. It looks like you guys have a plan to tackle this. This person is definitely in love with you. They've got the Two of Cups over here and the Six of Inspiration. You make them feel seen. However, there may be a little bit of pride getting in the way at times, because it looks like here in the past you've got the Devil. So there's some sort of toxic behavioral patterns, addictions, maybe ways of thinking, or just immaturity in general, or possibly codependency. However, in the past here, clarified by the Four of Emotions and the Six of Materials, yeah, in the past year, there's been some toxic behavioral patterns and arguments, fights, conflicts that have happened regarding a lot of resentment. There's apathetic discontentment. So I'm getting here a long-standing commitment, maybe just grievances and that have been ongoing. This is in regard to one person feeling like they're pulling more of the weight than the other. This was in the past. Six of Materials here is equal give and take, but I'm getting here with the resentment or with the Four of Emotions and the Devil that one person doesn't feel that way. King of Swords is in the present. There's been some brutal truth or some sort of discussion, some sort of clarity that has come through that somebody, they're not beating around the bush. They're just kind of telling it like it is, and it may be a little harsh. Largely logic thinking at this time, it looks like. You might be going head to head with this person. Yeah, this is definitely a long-standing commitment. The Ten of Materials, Ten of Pentacles here. So let's break this down. The Knight of Coins. This is a slow-moving knight. However, it is moving towards something that is obtainable. Pentacles. This doesn't necessarily need to be a physical thing. It's something that is obtainable. That could be a relationship. I guess that is a physical thing. This could be even securing a feeling or securing some sort of status with somebody. What I'm getting here more so is that it's navigating conflict, and you're understanding that one foot in front of the other. This knight is dedicated. The Two of Inspiration here is really pointing me in that direction, because this is discussion of the future, making a plan, setting goals, intentions, and taking a look ahead with somebody in regard to that. This is also changes that need to be made, and two people discussing that. So it looks like you have brought this up. Maybe, I'm not sure how you're bringing it up with this person, but it looks like you definitely have spoken your mind, maybe a bit harshly at times. Now, this person definitely is in love with you, and you make them feel very seen. It looks like they are largely a supporter of you as well. This is, giving someone recognition, calling out their achievements, giving them their flowers. This also could do with pride. So it looks like maybe there might be some stubbornness or pride in the way in this conflict, and maybe that's where you guys are butting heads. But also, this person adores you, so that's good. In the past here, though, there's the devil energy. So there's some sort of addiction or toxic behavioral pattern, codependency, or just ways of communicating that have come between you two. This has caused discontent, apathy. Maybe somebody is largely negative of emotions here. And this has to do with the give and take of the relationship. So the giving aspect, maybe the discussion of change on your end is in regard to something here from the past of you feeling like you might do more, or maybe you feel like you give or you don't receive as much as you feel you should. In the present here, you've got the King of Swords, so there's this could really be kind of giving somebody hell at times. The King of Swords is kind of a sharp-tongued, tells it like it is, very blunt, very brute. But also, the King of Swords, I mean, they are, how do I say? As harsh as it may be, they are doing it because they care about you. And there's a fine line there. So whether or not this is you toward your person or your person toward you, be careful that this, tough love is not turning into something where it could be borderline abusive, verbally. So this is a long-standing commitment, though, and when we tend to get really comfortable with somebody, we might slip up and say certain things, and we got to really watch ourselves on that, because that can definitely erode a connection over time. So be careful. And if that's happening if you're on the receiving end of this, be sure to express how this makes you feel, and to bring that up, and essentially demand that be addressed and changed or altered in the way that communication happens. Okay, so in the intuition space, Aquarius, you've got the Magician here. You're trying to manifest something. You do want a specific outcome for this discussion, or for this. You have, like I said, up here, you have goals. You've discussed these with the person. You have a wish, and you are trying to manifest this. You want to see this play out in the way that that you hope. And this is clarified by awakening. You're asking for someone to take accountability. You're asking for somebody to do some introspection and kind of, take accountability. You don't want to play the blame game. You don't want to point fingers. You want somebody to clean up their side of the street. That's what you're asking at this time. You've got the King of Coins here, stability. So your challenge is stability, structure, reliability. Maybe there's times where you feel like you don't know if you can rely on this person, clarified by the Queen of Inspiration. Maybe there's times you feel like you don't know if you can rely on this person, or they don't provide structure, stability like they once used to. And you've got your challenge here at the Four of Wands. So reconciliation, reunion, coming together. This is family gathering. What I'm getting here, I'm sorry, that's your advice, Four of Wands. What I'm getting here with this, though, is that, rekindling there's been rifts in the relationship that have caused separation, and it's about rekindling these things and addressing the deeper root of the issue, so you guys can come together again how you used to. See, look, Eight of Pentacles. There's lessons here to be learned. Your person here feels pretty trapped, which makes me think that this behavior is deeper than just the surface. So this past behavior, I believe, belongs to them. This devil behavior up here. Not to say they're a devil, I'm sorry. This discontentment, this toxic behavioral pattern or way of communicating, or addiction possibly. It could even be addiction to a person, addiction to you. And remember, these roles could be reversed. So we're going to clarify that though. Clarified by the Sun and the Queen of Emotions. Okay, so what I'm getting here, there's a specific outcome you want and you are manifesting this. You think about it constantly. You want this to go a certain way. You may even use some sort of manipulative tactics in regard to this. This could be in regard to emotional manipulation, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So hold on before you guys get angry. Please just hear me out. So manipulation simply means to alter or change something. We manipulate situations every single day. Every single one of us do. We have expectations, we have needs, we go about getting those needs and expectations met, and we use manipulation. Whenever you are being nice in line to a person, maybe at the store, because you just maybe hope, I'm not sure, I'm not even sure what to say. Okay, how about you? Example would be somebody being nice to the bouncer because they forgot their ID and they really want to be let in, and they're like, come on, just this time. That is manipulation. You could, make sure to, I mean, there's many instances of this, but simply us putting in our hand and behaving in a certain way because we want a certain outcome. That is manipulation. So manipulation doesn't have to be bad. And it looks like you're doing this for good reason. You want this person to be in, you want your guys' connection to be stronger. You want to not fight. You want to have this person take accountability for their side. And it looks like you may be using certain ways of communicating to obtain this goal. And that's not necessarily bad. Again, it's a fine line though. Make sure you're not crossing over to the line to where it is for a selfish, one-sided gain where you're, putting this person in. I'm not saying this is what's happening, but that's where it would be bad if you're putting this person into like a lesser position to where they are not gaining, and it's not actually something that's really going to benefit them. It's might even screw them over. Like that's where it becomes bad. Again, I'm not getting that here out of this. Not saying you're doing that, but just wanted to clarify there about manipulation and what it actually is. It's got a bad connotation, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. We've got here your challenge is the King of Coins. So the King of Coins is reliability, stability, structure. It's even, I mean, it talks about finances as well. But what I'm getting more here is the challenge here is the stability, the reliability of this person. Maybe you've lost some trust in them. And the Queen of Inspiration is about confidence. Maybe you're having challenge, you're not confident in this person's ability to be reliable. You're not confident in trusting them with certain things. And so it has largely weighed on you. And that's why communication is so important here. And yes, obviously, there's some manipulation that we're not even aware of that we might be doing to go about facilitating these things. But again, make sure you're communicating effectively. That's really the important part here. Your advice, though, is to bring this together. So reunion, reconciliation, gathering. You might need to talk to some people, but there's definitely something here to be said about coming together, working as a team, and extracting the lesson here. There's skills that have been obtained throughout these trials and tribulations up here that can be used to your benefit at this time. So essentially, you see this belt, it's like look in your tool belt and pull out the, what have you learned, what type of I guess you could say education have you gotten throughout the course of this connection, and what could you call upon at this time in order to bring this reconciliation or reunion together between how things used to be and how they currently stand. I'm getting here really you're not speaking on your full feelings at this time. And so that's very important for you to do, because they say the distance between two people is the length of, is the I'm sorry, the space between two people is the distance of the amount, I'm sorry, I don't even know the saying. Something about the distance between two people is everything that's left unsaid. So essentially, the things you're not saying create distance and push you two apart. And essentially, you're building a wall when you are not saying things, because then resentment builds. Then you're not speaking how you actually feel. Then you start to maybe manipulate in ways that you're not even aware of because you're resentful. And so you are maybe sharp tongued or quick witted. And it's just really, it can really break down a connection, and the communication can devolve in regard to this. So make sure you are saying everything tactfully, of course. That is on your mind. And your person, their next move, how they're feeling, what they're thinking, they're feeling pretty trapped at this time. Maybe so they try to focus on the happy aspects, but there's a lot of healing that needs to be done here. There's a lot of nurturing, care, healing. They want to give this to you as well: care, nurturing, healing, love, support, and they do. You make them very happy. They underneath all this, they are trapped, though. They feel like they're in some sort of mental prison of maybe brooding thoughts, negative thinking. There's something here that is a deeper pain that maybe that it doesn't look like they're speaking on. Um, so maybe you could help this person in discussing that by approaching them in regard to this. What you have a bias toward, or what you need to be cautious of, is the Three of Wands here. So this is waiting for your ships to come in. It is looking at the bigger picture. It is branching out, taking a step toward something. And so what I'm getting here in your bias is that, if you want something to be done, you can't just sit around and, demand for it. You have to take some sort of action. You have to take some sort of action, whether or not that's stepping toward it and communicating, whether or not that's setting a boundary, whether or not that's asking directly for it, or setting some sort of, they say ultimatums never work, but really it's honestly how you set them. So, and an ultimatum of like, I do this or I'm doing this, doesn't work. However, if you phrase it and frame it in the way of, look, this is what I need, this is something that is important to me, and here's what I need, and I'm willing to give this amount of time, so 6 months, 3 months, however, to work on it. Are you willing to work on this with me? Is this something we can set a goal with together? I would like to reach, because this is a need of mine, and it's a non-negotiable need. So that would be a healthy way to essentially set an ultimatum, is to phrase it as a need and discuss a time frame in which you're willing to work on this as a goal together in a co-collaborative effort. Because, we all have needs. But when you come to somebody and you demand something and you say, you got to do this or I'm doing this, and it's immediate, that never works. That will never, ever, ever, ever work. You're much more likely to get somebody, especially if somebody is committed to you and you guys have a long-standing relationship such as this, you're much more likely to get their cooperation in regard to this. Okay, so let's clarify though the Three of Wands. The Three of Materials, exactly. So effort, working together. What was I just saying? Co-collaborative solutions, creating something together with somebody, teamwork. That is your bias. So you can't just wait for that to happen. You need to facilitate it. You need to communicate it. You need to go forward and ask for it. In your guidance here, you've got the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is It's the independence card. So you're largely independent already, Aquarius. We know this. Aquarius is an air sign. They are the humanitarian. They're very, very, they go where it's interesting, if you say. But what I'm getting here is like your guidance here is to not get yourself so wrapped up in the behavior of this person. You are in love with them. Here's the lovers. Look at this. Oh, and here at the bottom, we've got the Ace of Wands with the Page of Wands. Okay. You are in love with this person. It's a very important connection to you. And what you need to be very careful of is becoming, your guidance is to interdependence is the message I'm getting here. So this is independence. And independence can become toxic when it becomes hyper independence. And that is when we start to not include our partner or start to not allow them to meet our needs. And we say, I can handle everything myself and I don't need you. And they feel very largely unneeded and unloved and unappreciated. And then up here, we had the devil, which was codependency. So that was in the past. And that is when somebody expects the person to meet all of their needs and they essentially can't live without them. And they are very, reliant upon them. And it tends to be the case that these two people come together and create this dynamic that is very toxic. And sometimes that can play out over time. So it's not something that is apparent right away. And then it's very difficult to notice it, not only notice it, but then get out of it when you do finally see it's happening and to reverse those things. So your guidance here, though, is to remain interdependent. It seems like you guys have done a really good job of that so far. And that is, interdependence is, I can meet all of my needs and I allow my partner to meet them as well. And I know my partner can meet all of their needs and they allow me to meet them as well. It is to communicate effectively. It is to rely and lean upon each other as needed, emotionally, physically, mentally, whatever it may be. In order for this to, you can't be fully independent in a relationship. You have to be interdependent. And I want to just, I'm getting another message here. Bids for connection. For those of you who have not heard of bids for connection, there's a study that has been done that couples who were observed at a bed and breakfast over time by this psychologist noticed one single thing that he could use to determine the probability of these couples either staying together or divorcing or splitting up. Or if it doesn't necessarily mean you're married. But there was one single thing he could find that would determine, and he could determine it with, it was like 90 something % accuracy, like an insanely high accuracy of the probability of a couple staying together, and it was bids for connection. And so couples who had higher positive bids for connection than negative were more likely to stay together over time, no matter the circumstances, no matter the conflicts that they faced. And what a bid for connection is something as simple as you look out the window, you say, oh, look at that car. That car's really cool. That's a bid. You're making a bid. It's showing you're interested in something and you're trying to engage your partner. If your partner then turns and simply, oh yeah, that's really neat. Or like, yeah, oh, I know you love cars. And yeah, I bet, whatever it may be, positive. Those over time, so it could be anything. It'd be, look at this, I found this in this magazine. Or hey, there's this song I want you to hear. Or did you know, how do I look today? Whatever. Positive bids for connection seem to be the magic of relationships. They've even found that a neutral answer to these bids for connection is more powerful than So how do I say? The negative ones will eat away at the relationship quicker than anything else. And neutral, even neutral and positive, they seem to do the same thing over time. So it's like, it's so simple to simply just acknowledge what your partner's saying, even if you're not that interested. It could really, really improve the longevity and the communication and the connection, intimacy, trust, all of that, just simply by doing that. Even if you're not that interested, just simply be neutral about it. It's not that hard. So, what your guidance here, forward here, what you have at the bottom of the deck, the Page of Wands and the Ace of Inspiration or Ace of Wands. So, there's new passion here that can be built and cultivated together. The Page of Wands, though, is about adventure. It's about surprises. It's about fun. It's about spontaneity. So it looks like you guys need to bring some spice back into your life. And so, whatever that may be for you guys, but it's a matter of maybe trying to surprise them more, or being, if you guys have gotten stuck into a routine, try and bring a new fire, a new spark to it. Especially in a long-term connection, it can be easy to get into a mundane routine and da da da. We do this, and we do this, and we do this, and we do that. No, so like sometimes they say in a long-term connection, you guys have to date again and pretend like you're back in that beginning stages where you're trying to court each other and impress each other, and you dress up and you do, so there can be a lot of fun ways to do that. But your guidance here is to bring some sort of excitement, maybe surprise your partner with something that is out of the norm, and maybe try something new together if you guys have been stuck in a routine. So we're going to get some guidance messages for you, Aquarius. Let's see. We've got innocent. Okay, so that is a great thing to remember as well. Sometimes in the face of conflict, and especially with resentment, we can start to look at our partner in a negative light. And it is hard to find that innocent diamond in the rough that we used to love and appreciate and know in that time. So that is something maybe you need to look for, and maybe bringing back childlike innocence to the connection, to where you guys can have fun. Look at this, creating new opportunities. The wands are all about creation, and that is creation from the self. So again, it's going back to the Magician card here. Like I was saying earlier, moving forward and creating something that you want to see. Taking action on that. Cleanse. It looks like there's some old energy that needs to be cleansed out here. Like I said in the beginning with the pranite, maybe you're calling upon a higher power to help you release some of this, and that's great and all, but also talk to your partner about it. Look at this. Forgive them. I don't think I need to say anything there. And simplicity. It doesn't have to be that difficult. It doesn't have to be that convoluted. It doesn't have to be that much of a struggle. It can all be really simple. You guys just got to talk. And what you resist persists. So, have you ever noticed that when you get on somebody about something and you're telling them no, 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 that it seems to only make the problem worse? Or that when somebody really doesn't want to do something, or they're trying to avoid feeling a certain way, so it could be anything. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling like, oh gosh, I don't like that feeling, I'm going to push it away, I don't want to feel it, and I'm going to distract myself. That's resistance. And what you resist persists. When we tuck away certain feelings, emotions, or anything, we tuck them away into these little drawers or pockets in our body, and they grow into these unrecognizable monsters that come out in ways that we're not even really sure where they belong or where they stem back to after a while. And when we try to avoid our feelings, or avoid a conversation, or avoid some sort of change that is needed. Bringing up, earlier we were talking about you were trying to go forward toward a goal. Bringing up these sorts of things, it's just going to exacerbate the problem. So keep that in mind. What you resist persists. Okay. So Aquarius, I really hope that helped. That's all I have for you today. Thank you.
Feel like we've reached a crossroads. Ooh, don't you hate them ultimatums? But we need a revelation to save us. Stuck in the moment, it seems. The more I think, the more I don't know. I'm looking for a sign. Where's your devotion?